Good afternoon, everybody. 3 weeks since Crawley Town were last in action, but this afternoon, Sky Bet League 2 football is back here at the Broadfield Stadium. 3 o'clock kickoff as Crawley entertain Morecambe. First time meeting Morecambe this season, with the game at Morecambe having been called off earlier this season. As always, full match commentary with myself and Tony on iFollow from 10 to 3. And Tony's going to come in and join me just now so we can have a little bit of a match day preview. Tony, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming in nice and early. Seems like an age since there's been either a league game, but at the most a game here. And if we reflect on that last game here, when we talked before the game, we were sort of looking at building on the 2 victories that Crawley had at the start of the year, but Salford clearly didn't read the game plan and really outplayed and outpossessed Crawley, didn't they, on that day to gain what looks like a narrow victory, but they were very deserving of it, weren't they?
Yeah, they out everything on the day. Tackles, second balls, every aspect of the 90 minutes, they were better than we were. Yeah. And clearly, the manager felt it was the worst performance he'd had since he'd come to the club, and he was most certainly right. So we were looking for a much improved. We had the game at Peterborough, which was a much improved performance by all reports. So we'll be looking for a progression from that and a recovery from the Salford game. But we were talking before the Salford game, and the form book and the league table was going to be out of the window, and it certainly showed that to be true. Yeah. On the day. Yeah. 35 attempts at goal as well, Salford, on the day. So, like I say, it looks like a narrow 1-0 victory for them, but they certainly deserved it. Maybe Crawley took a little bit too much for granted going into the game because Salford were down the bottom, but Salford themselves have sort of used that as a bit of a catalyst, haven't they, to drag themselves away from that bottom part of the table. And you certainly feel, like you just said there, like that Crawley will have to give some sort of reaction today, because Scott was devastated that his side had been outpossessed, and he said 35 shots from the opposition. You can't allow that to happen at any level of football. On your own ground. Yeah, exactly. So, like I say, Salford has progressed, and possibly they were underachieving, so the league table doesn't lie. And now they've got the experienced manager coming in with Paul Robinson, and you would expect them to continue to climb the table for the rest of the season. But from our perspective, we're still there or thereabouts. We haven't played for 3 weeks. We've had no league games in between, and we're still only 5 points off 7. So with a game in hand. So it's all still there to play for. Yeah, that was my next point actually, because having not played for 3 weeks, results have sort of gone in Crawley's favour, haven't they, even with the Reds not playing. And like you say, Crawley 12th, looks like a mid-table sort of solidified position, but the playoffs are still only 5 points away, with a lot of games to play, and a lot of the teams that are sort of within that playoff pack or chasing pack still to play. Yeah. I was looking today, after today there's 18 games to play, 12 Saturdays. So you're going to play at least once every other week, midweek. And there's
afternoon, gentlemen.
There's so many points to play for. So we just need to start stringing some wins together.
Yeah, bit of consistency.
If you start to do that, we keep as many players fit as we possibly can. Then there's no reason we can't push on and look at those kind of playoff places. But there's quite a few ifs and buts.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's a lot of points to play for. And apologies for the stewards are sort of walking through the shot as we're going in. It has been deadline day this week as well. Some years and some deadline days are busier than others. It wasn't an overly busy one for Crawley this time round. Just a couple of players coming in on deadline day. One I think still yet to receive international clearance, and one player on loan until the end of the season from Huddersfield, who, whether he'll feature today or not, I think if he features, will only be a feature on the bench. The American lad Kelly won't feature at all because he's got to fly in and get international clearance, etc. Were you surprised at the lack of activity, and are you surprised at the position of the players that have been brought in have come in?
I was surprised. I wasn't surprised at the players that went out. I think from the players on loan, from the parent club's perspective, if you're not playing, what's the point of being in loan? So Ashby Hammond had a little bit of a run in the side, but then Crawley got back in. Swire never really featured in the front side in both the EFL games. So from that perspective, no surprise there. Players coming in. I was talking about the strike to potentially take the pressure off Dorsey, which didn't materialise. So a little bit surprised there. I think we could have done. Somebody mentioned to you before we came on, played Christian Deutsch, who'd been a thorn in our side previously, went from the Birmingham back to Forest Green. Personally, I think he'd been a perfect fit. Who knows him fit, this kind of thing. He seems to have been playing. Probably would have been a good fit for us. Not kind of that profile, 31, not young player, but probably would have been a good addition. It is what it is, but I'm not surprised there wasn't a lot of that.
No, I guess just as importantly though, as well as players that have come in, is players that Crawley have managed to keep. Because there were rumours, you talk about the loan players that Crawley had going back to parent clubs, but there were rumours about Cerula going, Orsi going, Kelly going, which is obviously testament to the season that Crawley have had so far, that the League One clubs could be interested in those sort of players. Yeah. But it's good, I think, that Crawley have kept pretty much the nucleus of the side that's been the starting 11 all season.
Yeah, I think as we've said on a number of occasions, that I think most people would be surprised at where we are at this point in the season compared to the start of pre-season, and so the squad itself has proved themselves to be good enough to be where we are. So to hang on to that, then I think it's a great thing for the club. And keeps that stability within the squad. You haven't got a lot of changes, and you're not trying to bring in half a new team and try and get them in with only 18 games to go.
Yeah, exactly. This afternoon then, what do you think we can expect from Morecambe? I mean, they've lost one of their best players during the course of the week. I don't think their top scorer, Mellon, is going to be available to them this afternoon. It looks on paper like it's a decent opportunity for Crawley to get back to winning ways, and if they do, that's 3 wins out of the 4 league games they would have then played at the start of 2024, which doesn't look like a bad return.
No. We don't like the Salford performance. Hopefully it's just an aberration in a good start to 2024. We were talking in the press room just a few minutes ago about what the last mayor probably is for Morecambe. 7 assists, scored 3 goals. So I think the manager was really upset that he'd left and gone to Millwall. So hopefully we've played him at a good time. And we need a reaction to our previous week performance. So yeah, hopefully it'll be another 3 points there.
Fingers crossed. Tony and I are live from 10 to 3 this afternoon. If you can't get onto the iPhone, then make sure you're tuned in to BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey from 2 o'clock this afternoon. All the team news, all the previews, all the updates throughout the course of the afternoon, live here from the Broadfield Stadium. It's League 2 action with Crawley Town versus Morecambe.